Marvel has pushed back a ton of movies on their slate, guys. And this is going to come to us from Collider. Possibly. Here we go. So it looks like Deadpool, Fantastic Four, as we already just talked about Blade being pushed back, and Avengers Secret Wars as well. So I said this, I was telling you, Shane, that when this news came out at D23 that we were going to have 2 Avengers movies basically less than a year apart and all these other things, I remember immediately when it was over thinking, this is never going to happen, and I hate that they do this to us. Because the truth is, they're just throwing shit to the wall and hoping it sticks, because they had no idea. All they knew is that these movies were what they were probably going to be putting into production. And like I was telling Shane, that's probably where they should have just left it. You know, hey, we're in the works on a Secret Wars. Mm-hmm. We'll let you know more about a date soon. You know, we didn't need these fabricated dates. That's what they became, right? I mean, because D23 was what, guys, a month ago? So in a month's time, you've already pushed back these movies, you know, in Blade's case, again, almost a whole year. But yeah, so let's see here. Let's dig into this article a little bit. Disney has made some significant changes to its release date schedule, including pushing back some major titles from Marvel Studios. Earlier today, reports came out that productions are being halted on Mahershala Ali's Blade. Of course, we just talked about that. But Ryan Reynolds' Untitled Deadpool 3 has now been pushed back to November 8th, 2024. And I believe it was September, correct? Yes, it was originally September 6th. Now, this isn't a huge pushback, but I really, really was enjoying where they had Deadpool 3 slated towards the end of the summer. So we had this last thing. Now it's going to seem more like a Christmas kind of feel.
If you notice, Blade took the September 6th, 2024 slot. So that's why Deadpool's getting pushed back, is because Blade got pushed back. So that's pushing back because they don't want them competing against each other.
Right.
So yeah, Blade's just had this ripple effect that's now pushing back
everything back.
Right. But you're right. I think Deadpool, you know, you're right. Into the summer.
Right.
You know,
come on. Got back to school.
Exactly. Right. So, you know, you got all these young kids now going to school. What do you want to do? Well, Deadpool movies out.
Right.
You know, I think that's a perfect landing spot. And, you know, I think they want Deadpool to have the nothing competing with it. You could see that they put it November to give Blade some breathing room, and then starting in November, Deadpool can ride out for the rest of the year.
Right.
You know, because honestly, when I saw the Blade release date was September 6th, I was like, that's cool. But what about later in September when we're starting to feel the fall and the horror spirit?
Right. And, towards October, right?
Yeah, and I was really surprised.
And I wouldn't be surprised, Shane, if it doesn't get pushed again. You know?
Which, again, will probably disrupt Deadpool.
Yep.
And we already, Fantastic Four, to me, which is funny because, you know, they've had all these problems with Fantastic Four, so they decide to push it back. Well, then why even give us a new date? Because you're probably going to end up, I mean, so now you're going to foresee nothing else is going to stop us.
Right.
You know.
Guys, we've been waiting on Fantastic Four news for freaking years now. We got nothing. We don't know who's in it. We don't know what it's about. We don't know anything. Mm-hmm. And yet, here's some more news for you. Wait longer.
Well, you know, honestly, it's working out in Fantastic Four's favor because, you know, the appeal to Fantastic Four, the comic book at the time, it was better, you know, at the time, better selling than Spider-Man or Hulk or, you know, even in the Avengers, you know, it was Fantastic Four. People wanted that. And it was the atomic age, you know, so you had all this atomic fear. Well, you know, when the other Fantastic Four movies came around, none of us were talking about nuclear war, right? The atomic age seemed to be over. Well, now that's back in the news.
Right.
You know, so the more they're waiting, they're probably waiting for the mushroom cloud now at this point. They're like, all right, now we're green lighting this thing.
Yeah, the Fantastic 4 more years. Yeah,
nice.
Right.
Nicely done.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I don't want to wait until February, just so we're clear, as it states here. Again, this is from Collider. I don't want to wait until February 14th to see. Isn't that Michael Jordan's birthday? I'm busy that day. Wait, is that Valentine's Day?
Yeah, that's Valentine's Day. Go
I'm
see
busy.
Fantastic Four.
That's where Deadpool should be.
Yeah, that's when romantic comedies come out, you know.
Right. But yeah, so anyway, Fantastic Four, like I said, it's pushed to February 14th, 2025 now, which again is just so crazy considering they told us about it, around the same time they told us about Blade's Mahershala Ali being Blade. So
what's crazy with this Marvel schedule and how they make these announcements, if you ask me, what's my life personally going to be like in 2 years or 3 years or 5 years? I mean,
you may be dead.
I mean, there's so much up in the air, but I can tell you Marvel's schedule. Like, I'm going to be in line grabbing tickets for, Secret Wars. It's like that's the one definite in our lives are these Marvel release dates. Just why don't you just give us an abstract, coming in 2024, then you don't have to give us a certain, because then, I guess we need something to talk about. So I guess it's probably a good thing they keep announcing these dates.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, we as fans especially want to know everything, anything. Give us anything to keep us, chomping at the bit to want more. But yeah. So then, as you were just saying, Secret Wars now too is I believe another one that's being pushed back, which will now be premiering on May 1st, 2026. As for now, and it was, I'm sorry. It was originally November 7th, 2025. But the Avengers Kang Dynasty movie that's scheduled to come out has remained at its current slot, which was May 2nd, 2025. So now you'll have 2 Avengers movies coming out, one May 2nd and one November 7th in the same year. Crazy. Let me ask you this, Shane.
They didn't even do that for Endgame.
You think that's going to stay like it is?
Probably not. Honestly,
hell no, it's not.
Is there enough CG studio houses to facilitate all these Marvel movies coming out?
I don't know, man.
At the same time?
I've been hearing stuff that there isn't, and there hasn't been, and that's why, like with Spider-Man, No Way Home, the most newest one when they brought back Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield and did like a Spider-Verse kind of thing. Up until like the last 2 weeks, like they were working on it. Right before it came out. And then once it came out, within the first month, they had put out like 4 different versions because they had kept editing and were fixing things and stuff.
It's almost like video games now, where you get the debug.
Yeah, right.
Like,
we're getting like, I know. We're the testers.
Yeah.
we're basically screening this
Hulk coming soon. There's just a part of the green screen, and it just has text Hulk inserted later.
Right.
Oh, that's gonna look dope when Hulk's in there.
Right, and also something that's not listed in here is that there was an Untitled Marvel movie slated for, I believe, November 2025 that they just completely did away with. And I think
we know what it was about?
It was like on the hush hush, like it wasn't. And I think, as we were talking a little bit about yesterday, Shane, about the potential to be a World War Hulk movie, that I was saying that I think they've decided to turn into a series instead.
And that could have been
and
that
I think
spot.
that could be it, is that
I like that.
That may be World War Hulk. But we'll find out more about that, guys, later tonight. Make sure you stick around for our open spoiler pregame discussion where we're going to talk about all things She-Hulk, Hulk, Daredevil, Abomination, all those crazy things. And I'm super excited for that.
I heard you guys are going to dress up as those characters and then wrestle in this room to kind of figure out who would win in that fight.
I mean, if we had more room, I'd be down. I just don't think we got the room for it. If we can get somebody to super chat in like $2,000.
There we go. All right, someone out there.
It's up to you guys.
Could it be you?
Right. But guys, have you guys had a chance? What are you guys' thoughts about all this stuff? As a fan, I just want to say one more time, this sucks, man. Especially when, like you said, Shane, it seems that it's coming from one movie. You know, one movie is now causing this kind of domino effect, and it just kind of blows. And again, it makes you wonder, you know, what happens a month from now when Mahershala Ali walks away, and then they have to just take Blade off the slate. Does everything go back to where
right.
it was?
No kidding. Oh, no, Deadpool is September 6th.
Yeah,
Our
right,
bad.
right. And so you just don't know how these things go. So as a fan, it's hard to even trust any of these dates. Like, I trust that they are working on these movies and that most likely we are going to get them. And there may be those rare cases like Blade that we may not get something, but I think most likely we'll get them. But again, don't give us a date until, you know, we're a year, maybe 2 years out. You know, we don't need a date. And Shane, it's 2022. I'm looking at dates for November 2025. You know, do I really need to know that right now? You know, like,
I agree. You know, it's the thing is, it's all about building hype, right, and marketing and all that.
But I'm gonna forget by the time. This is the Avatar thing, right?
Yeah, you know, it's just exhausting to feel this much hype for this many years.
Remember when we seen Avatar 14 years ago, and we right from that day we've still held that same hype. We're just
Here's the thing, Key. So imagine you came out of Avatar 1. Okay, just get that in your mind. You just came out of Avatar 1. You just enjoyed it. And I came up to you and said, hey, the next time you see Avatar 2 in theaters, as soon as it comes out, you'll be with your daughter.
Jeez. That's pretty crazy.
Right?
I would have been like, what daughter? You're crazy.
So I'm 14. What do you
Yeah, and by the
You
time
mean I'm going to score?
by the time the third one's out, I'll be with my grandkid.
Yeah. It's a generational thing.
Right.
Amazing. You pass it down. I love it.
Yeah, we're watching it. We're like in a theater, but there's a virtual reality on us. That's like how
That's the new Cameron thing.
I seen this thing. Alicia showed me that just freaking blew my mind that there's these big clubs in LA and stuff that when you go in, they hand you these like $300 headphones and you put them on and the whole club is silent, but everyone has headphones on.
Oh, wow.
Right?
That's crazy.
Right? And it just...
I guess, you know, you don't get noise disturbances. You know, it helps the neighbors.
Right? And it's got to be probably cheaper. You don't need all this sound equipment and a big DJ and all of these things.
Although you're wearing someone else's headphones from the day before, can I bring my own?
I'm sure they sanitize. I bet you could.
Okay,
I bet
there
they
we
got
go.
places
It's like
where
the
you can
roller
just tune
rink.
into it, right? And that's it's just such a different world. Again, it made me think of that, like walking into a movie theater, everyone's looking at the screen, but they got virtual reality.
Nice. You know, I hope we actually see. In Blade, it opens up with Blade walking through one of those clubs, and they're all just dancing with their head, and it's just silent.
That's brilliant. Yeah, it would make for some good filmmaking stuff. Yeah, I had actually, when we were watching the Chucky series, they had like these middle schoolers had a party and they were all wearing headphones and I was like, what a bunch of weirdos. And that's when she told me, she's like, no, that's like the thing to do now. Like big clubs are doing that. Like, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, you're the old guy now going, when I was your age, we had boom boxes and tape decks.
Big speakers so big that your head vibrated.
Yeah,
you know?
oh, I hated that. Like my buddy pulled me into his car. It's like, oh, you'll feel your skin shake.
But it was part of the experience,
that.
you know, at one of those places, just everything was just so loud. And headphones kind of scare me too. Like, what if, you know, someone's coming up behind you or beside you, and it's harder to have that spatial reasoning without. Anyways, guys, what do you guys think, like I said, about this news with Marvel pushing everything back? It's really disappointing, like I said, as a fan. And hopefully we still get Blade. Hopefully these things don't get pushed back again. But we're still excited to see all these things come out, of course. So let us know down in the comment section below what you guys are thinking.